In the meantime, let's look at what's happening in the world's newest country. Health centers in parts of South Sudan are recording more cases of malnutrition as a deepening food shortage continues to hit the country, leaving over 40% of its 11 million people dependent on food aid. Despite a peace deal signed last month, sporadic fighting between government and rebels continue, which has prevented farmers from going back to their homes to grow crops.
Women and children wait to see a doctor at the Alek Hospital in South Sudan's northern Warab state. Many are here because they're suffering from malnutrition. With farmers unable to plant crops because of sporadic fighting in the country, food is growing scarce. The UN Children's Agency, UNICEF, says unless malnutrition treatment is scaled up immediately, 50,000 children in the country are likely to die. Abang Manute is caring for her 2 children who have been admitted at Alek Hospital. She says the leaders must now work together so that the country can grow its own food again.
We do not have food at home. Fighting forced us out of our homes and farms. We have small farms here, but there's also no rain. We depend on relief food to survive.
UNICEF and the World Food Programme have already launched a joint nutrition response plan covering all states in South Sudan, which will see both agencies and their partners assist over 2 million people, including children, pregnant women and new mothers, receive treatment and prevention of acute malnutrition in the country until May 2016.
In a place like South Sudan, where the roads are very poor, it's very expensive. Food is delivered by aircraft, by food drops. So it's a very expensive way to feed people. In an emergency, it's completely necessary. And last year we successfully averted a famine by providing food aid to hundreds of thousands, if not millions of people. But it's not the best solution. The best solution is for people to grow their own food, to have their own secure food supply, and that's the other part of the programs that we're working on with the South Sudanese.
For now, officials say they are working on plans to get farmers to prepare their land, but the rains are late.
The area is very dry. We are not expecting any flood. The flood is start actually to come out from the river in June and also July. And up to date, there are no activities of seeing any flood coming out from the river. And with that, the area will be in worse situation. There will be no good yielding. The issue of food security, and also both animal and human being will actually be suffered. There's no supply that can help.
Many in South Sudan say the benefits of a peace agreement signed last month are yet to be felt on the ground. Agencies are taking advantage of the political developments to run relief programs of the country in the meantime.
We're now delivering food aid, nutrition programs, other items that people are in desperate need of. So we're very positive, and this has only happened since the signing of the peace agreement. So we're hopeful that it will hold over the next few months. Because we're really being able to improve a very dire situation right now because of the peace agreement.
Agencies have warned that the food crisis is set to get even worse if no crops are planted in the next season.
Now we're going back to the development in Cairo. Like we did tell you earlier on, it's been about 5 days since Al Jazeera journalists Mohamed and Mohamed Fahmy regained their freedom, having received a presidential pardon. Well, now that they're out, what happens next? We will be asking Mohamed live right now as he joins us on the program from Cairo. It's good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us.
And thanks a lot for hosting me and receiving me, and it's my honor to be on your show.
It's an honor to have you, I must say. I just have to ask at this point, what has this experience been like for you?
For me, it's a very important experience. For me, this whole issue is not about the 3 journalists or the 3 Al Jazeera journalists. It's all about all journalists behind bars all over the world. It's for us, it's about the cause. It's this whole experience. It's about press freedom. And what can we seriously do to press freedom? Because nowadays we are seeing that journalists are becoming the targets. And this is seriously a big issue, and it's a big problem.
Now, I'd just like to ask about that moment. We're looking at visuals from that moment when you were released. What exactly went through your mind when the gates were open? at that point?
I was absolutely in a shock. I was shocked. It took me some time to believe it. And when they came and told us this news, I was like, guys, are you serious? We didn't see anything. Some people came out and said, you are pardoned. Guys, get ready, pack your stuff, you're leaving. So as soon as they just quickly, very quickly put us in a small microbus, and they dropped us in the street. The moment when you start realizing that we are free, we are like 3 guys, me and Mohamed Fahmy and one other inmate, they seriously threw us in the street, and suddenly we start to feel it. We felt that we are free. So the 3 of us were wearing blue, have our luggage, and we start hugging and dancing and singing, and everybody in the street was looking at us and like, oh, who are those crazy 3 people dancing and singing in the streets, and why they are all wearing blue? So it was this amazing moment that we started, I'm back on the street again. I'm free, no more walls, no more walls, no more prisons. But this exciting feeling will not last long, because I keep thinking of those who are still behind bars.
Now, that's exactly my final question to you, Bahir. What do you plan to use your experience to do for those, not just for press freedom, but for those that are behind bars, like you rightly said?
I think this is my goal right now, in time being. I'll do my best. I'll do my best to help those guys out. I don't have an exact plan, but I'm working on a plan. I'm working to do something to help those guys out, because I know exactly how it feels to be behind bars, to be in prison, to be away from your family, away from your life. And I know that some journalists in Egypt and some other countries received life sentence in prison. And they were only doing their job professionally. So my plan is to work very, very, very hard to help those guys out as soon as possible. I've never been an activist before, but I think it's the right time now for me to start advocating for press freedom, and especially those journalists who are behind bars all over the world, and not only in Egypt.
Well, Bahir, I must say thank you so much for joining us on Network Africa. A toast to your freedom, and congratulations once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've been speaking with Bahir Mohamed, one of the Al Jazeera journalists who was set free last Thursday. And we're going to be looking at what our viewers have had to say as well. We asked you last week about how domestic abuse could be stopped. And the top feedback from the day is coming from Nkolika Awa. And she says that she observes that while so much is said about domestic violence within marriages, nothing much is said about domestic violence against children by their parents, especially their step-parents. Please, would you kindly look into this, as I believe that so many are mentally, emotionally, and physically abused by their step-parents. Well, Nkolika, will definitely do our best to fill in that gap, but we must say thank you for your feedback, and please keep them coming in. And on that note, here is our question of the day. Do you support the anticipated change of Congo's constitution, which could lead President Nguesso into yet another term, and who will rule Congo for over 30 years? Well, feel free to send us your feedback either via email or Twitter. The address and handle are right there on your screen. As always, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for watching Network Africa right here on Channels Television. I'm Cynthia Are.